Understand English but can't speak?
Speak simple.
Speak confident.
English Boost.
Boost your English.
Did you know that about 1 in 5 flights in the US gets delayed? That statistic alone can make any traveler's heart race.
Wow, Alex, that explains why the airport feels like a second home sometimes. Today, we're diving into a situation we've all lived through, a delayed flight.
Exactly. We'll act out a realistic airport conversation using simple, clear English that beginners can follow. Think of it as a mini drama you can listen to over and over.
You'll hear useful words like delayed, annoyed, uncertainty, and more. Plus, we'll share personal stories that make the language feel alive.
We'll break the episode into 3 parts: a quick intro, a deep dive main discussion, and a friendly outro with takeaways. And we'll sprinkle transition hooks to keep you hooked.
So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's imagine we're standing at gate 12, waiting for our flight to finally take off.
I arrived at the airport 2 hours early, coffee in hand, feeling like a punctual superhero. Then I glanced at the board and saw the dreaded word, delayed. It's amazing how a single word can change the whole mood of a day.
Delayed, indeed. But here's what's really interesting. The moment we read that word, our brains start a little roller coaster of emotions. First, we stay calm, then curiosity spikes, and soon annoyance creeps in.
Exactly, Sarah. I found myself checking the departure time again and again, like a scientist running the same experiment. The new time read 3:45 p.m., which meant another 2 hours of waiting.
2 hours can feel like an eternity when you're stuck in those hard plastic chairs. What most people don't realize is that those chairs are designed for quick stops, not marathon naps.
Speaking of naps, I tried to close my eyes, but the constant PA announcements made it impossible. The speaker mentioned air traffic control and an incoming aircraft, but the words sounded like a distant echo.
Why do airport announcements always sound like a robot with a cold? It's a mystery that even seasoned travelers can't solve. Yet we keep listening, hoping for a clue about our flight.
And that uncertainty is the real villain here. Not knowing if the delay will be 10 minutes or 2 hours keeps the mind in a loop. Have you ever felt that tiny knot of anxiety building up?
Oh, absolutely. My anxiety turned into a game of people watching. I counted how many travelers were scrolling on phones versus reading magazines. It's funny how we all find tiny distractions to survive the wait.
But here's where it gets fascinating. I decided to approach the airline desk to get more info. The staff looked just as puzzled as we were, which made me wonder, are they really in the loop?
I asked the desk agent, and she explained that our plane was stuck in a holding pattern over Denver because of a sudden thunderstorm. So the delay wasn't just a paperwork glitch, it was a real weather issue.
Weather can be a huge chain reaction. One storm in the Rockies can ripple across the entire national airspace. That's why we sometimes see cascading delays across multiple airports.
Speaking of chain reactions, my last big delay was 4 hours because of a snowstorm in Denver. I ended up calling my sister, eating pretzels, and binge-watching 3 episodes of a sitcom on my phone.
4 hours is a marathon of waiting. I remember my worst delay was for a cousin's wedding. My flight was scheduled for 6 p.m., but it kept getting pushed back, and eventually the airline canceled it altogether.
Oh no, Alex. What did you do when the cancellation hit?
I sprinted to the customer service desk, joining a sea of frustrated travelers. After a long line, I secured a new flight for the next morning, but I missed the rehearsal dinner and arrived at the wedding half asleep.
That sounds like a scene from a travel comedy. At least you made it to the ceremony, though. Sometimes the best stories start with a delay.
Exactly. And that brings us to a useful English phrase. It's part of the adventure. My dad always says that when something goes sideways, it turns a negative into a narrative.
My dad has a similar saying, "It's not an adventure until something goes wrong." It reminds me to stay calm and find the silver lining, even in a crowded terminal.
So next time you hear delayed, you can think of it as a plot twist rather than a setback. That mindset shift is a powerful language tool for learners.
And here's a practical tip. When you hear an announcement, repeat the keywords out loud. Delayed, new departure time, gate. It helps you internalize the vocabulary faster.
Another tip is to ask the staff politely for clarification. Phrases like, "Could you please confirm the new boarding time?" show confidence and improve your speaking fluency.
And don't forget small talk with fellow passengers. Saying, "Looks like we have a long wait, huh?" can spark a friendly conversation and give you extra practice.
But the real game changer is turning the wait into a learning session. Pull out a language app, review travel-related phrases, or even narrate what you see around you.
And that's just the beginning. Imagine using this downtime to master the phrase, "I'm waiting for my flight to board." It feels like a mini lesson in the middle of real life.
Here's where it gets fascinating. The more you practice in authentic settings, the more natural it becomes. Even the annoyed feeling can be expressed politely. I'm a bit frustrated, but I understand.
Exactly. And you can add a touch of humor. Looks like the plane is taking the scenic route through the clouds. It lightens the mood and shows personality.
What's particularly interesting is that every delay offers a new vocabulary set, from gate change to boarding pass reissue. Collecting these words builds a travel-ready toolbox.
And while we wait, we can also observe body language, the sighs, the foot taps, the eye rolls. Describing those in English adds depth to your storytelling skills.
So to sum up our main discussion, acknowledge the delay, use it as a language practice opportunity, engage politely with staff and fellow travelers, and keep a positive mindset.
And remember, the next time you hear delayed, think of it as a chance to turn a boring wait into an engaging English lesson. And that wraps up our airport adventure. We hope you caught the key phrases like delayed, annoyed, uncertainty, and adventure.
Practice those words by listening to this episode again and try using them in your own travel stories. The more you repeat, the more natural they become.
If you've experienced a delayed flight, write a short paragraph in the comments. We'd love to read your experiences and help you improve your English.
Next week, we'll explore airport security vocabulary, so stay tuned for more practical English you can use right away.
Thanks for joining us on English Boost. Remember, every hiccup on a journey is just another story to tell.
See you next time on English Boost.